Hey! Hey! What the fuck was that?
What's that? Hey, there's something. What the fuck?
The forest does not always reveal what is watching from inside it. In these Bigfoot encounters, a couple spots a massive figure from a moving train, while workers in the fog see something lift and throw a tree. Were these just strange mistakes, or evidence of something still hiding out there? In 2011, a family went on a vacation to see the beautiful Smoky Mountains in Tennessee, but they had no idea the trip would end with something they would never forget.
What's he doing?
During their visit, the family spotted something moving in the distance. It was partially hidden behind the bushes, but its outline was enough to make them uncomfortable. They could not shake the thought that it may have been Bigfoot. The rugged landscape made the idea of a costume feel unlikely, and similar sightings have been reported in these mountains before. Maybe it was nothing, or maybe it was something much harder to explain. What would you think if you saw it? Two men headed out, camping to escape the stress of their everyday lives. While they were enjoying the trip, they suddenly heard a strange noise. And what happened next completely surprised them.
No, they had
primal lightning-struck fires.
they held their stogies to the skies and waited for Edison to strike.
You can just drag a girl to your cave by their hair and fucking breed.
Yep, just like the good old days. Oh my goodness, she actually kind of does look like a bear.
Did you hear something? When is this blackout? Like your imagination plays tricks on you.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, what the heck? Hold on. Wait, what the fuck? The fuck is that?
What? I don't see. What the fuck?
Hey,
Are you
there's
okay?
something. What the? Maroon? Like.
Far away, an odd figure started moving toward them. At first, it almost looked like another person camping nearby, but as it became clearer, it seemed less human and more like some kind of creature. What happened afterward remains unclear. The absence of any update made the situation feel even more worrying, especially since this was the only video ever uploaded to the channel. The most unsettling detail is the way it moves with confidence. It does not appear frightened or lost, but walks directly ahead. If most creatures stay away from humans, why was this one getting closer? Chris is a solo investigator who runs the YouTube channel NKPS Paranormal, which centers on real-time visits to haunted and remote places. On June 16th, 2025, he went back to a deep forest in Kentucky, an area he had explored before but had never spent the night in. This time, he chose to push farther into the woods and stay overnight, unaware of what might be waiting for him.
As I'm hearing stuff walk around the tent, I've got the knife here, also got the peeping back here, the gun, GUN. But that, you hear that noise between the frogs? I think that's a coyote, but hear that? I don't know. Never heard that noise back here before. Oh, and I already started the old step 2, Steve Wallace style. Got some Southern Comfort in there. Trying to get relaxed, trying to feel this area out, listening to my surroundings. Somebody out there? Somebody out there?
Even though Chris came prepared and knew how to defend himself, the noise he heard still made him uncomfortable. It was unlike anything he had ever heard in the forest. Still, he tried to brush it off as nothing serious without realizing the most disturbing moment of the night had not happened yet.
And then we're gonna call it a night. Hey! Hey! What the fuck was that? Jesus Christ. Something just literally jumped on this tent.
Despair.
Who is out there? Did you all see that? Okay, we're gonna put 7.8. This shit's going haywire. This stuff's going haywire. This stuff's going haywire. I'm gonna tell you, I'm shook up, guys. Seriously, I don't have a clue what that was. Whatever it was is big.
After the incident, Chris seemed visibly shaken, but he kept trying to tell himself it had to be something harmless. Even so, the thought of something suddenly landing on his tent stayed with him mainly because he had no explanation for it. Out of curiosity, he stepped outside to search the woods, hoping to find some kind of clue. But in the end, he found nothing. Exhausted and uneasy, he decided to lie down for the night, though sleep was difficult, as the unanswered question continued to trouble him. By morning, Chris gathered his gear and left the forest behind. At night, forest sounds can travel in strange ways because trees' distance and darkness make it difficult to know where they are coming from. That can make an ordinary animal sound feel much closer and much bigger than it actually is. But if there was nothing outside, what really struck the tent that night? On a calm winter day, a man and his cousin went out to escape their normal routine, but their car ended up trapped in the snow in Lepcha Vrancia. As they tried to get it unstuck, one of them spotted something strange.
I'm a demon. Da.
Чуваку, что встает?
At first, the figure seemed human, but once it started moving its wide back, large shoulders and long arms swinging at its sides made it look much more unsettling. The most unusual detail was the way it walked upright, unlike any four-legged animal they were familiar with. The men were not injured, but the encounter clearly stayed with them. After the footage began spreading, some viewers said it was fake, or just a person in a suit, while others thought it may have been Bigfoot. Snow can make it difficult to judge distance and size, especially when a dark figure is moving across a bright white background. Maybe there's an ordinary explanation, or maybe the upright walk is what makes the video so difficult to dismiss. What do you think they saw? While riding a train between Durango and Silverton, Colorado, a couple said they spotted Bigfoot and recorded the moment on video.
It's an elusive creature. Alright, just squat it down. Yeah, let me see your camera, I'll do it.
A large figure could be seen walking across the mountainside before lowering itself down to sit. The woman and her husband were looking outside, hoping to see elk when her husband noticed movement. At first, they were not sure what they were seeing, but when they noticed the figure's size and how naturally it blended into the sagebrush, they believed they had just seen Bigfoot. Before this moment, the woman and her husband did not believe in Bigfoot, but after seeing the figure with their own eyes, they became convinced it was real, and not just a legend. Maybe there's a normal explanation, or maybe this was the moment that changed their minds for good. If you saw that figure from the train, would you believe it was Bigfoot? He believed he was seeing a large bear during an elk hunt, but in just seconds, the encounter became something much harder to explain. Tim Wells is a bow hunter, and his videos are centered on that exact subject, bow hunting. His content feels authentic with no obvious sign of staging, only real hunting forest experience, and useful outdoor advice. In this specific video, he was in Idaho during the 2013 elk season. Soon after getting into the area, his friend kept saying he had seen a big bear. Tim quickly got ready to take the shot, but then he realized it was not a bear at all.
Give me the camera. Eric, get out, get my bow, get out. Eric, come here. Where's my bow? I tripped. Oh my god, I tripped. Oh my god. What's that? I told you that
was that?
Once Tim understood that, he picked up the camera and ran after it, knowing this could be one of the rarest encounters he would ever see. The creature vanished, but Tim knew he had just gone through something truly once in a lifetime.
GPS.
Our last GPS was, I think, 4.6 is what I
So
read.
we're 4.6 from the truck, and that's the closest road. I'm coming down here, I'm beat. All of a sudden Eric's like, oh my gosh, big bear, big bear. I look down the hill, and it is the freaking tallest bear walking on two legs I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, I turned to get Eric to turn on the camera. He's already filming at that point.
I didn't get pushed on play until...
But when did you realize it wasn't a bear?
Well, when I realized it wasn't a bear, the undergrowth here, it looked like a bear because all I seen was the brown coming through.
Their reaction felt genuine, and the situation could have gone much worse if they had confused it for a bear and fired. In dense forest, a dark moving shape can be difficult to identify, especially when branches and brush hide parts of the body. That is why hunters must be extremely careful before making a choice. Maybe it was a misidentified animal, or maybe Tim saw something that still does not have a simple answer. What do you think it was? A resurfaced video, allegedly recorded on January 7th, 2003, shows a large snow-covered figure standing near a remote mountain town. The man who filmed it said he'd noticed the shape blending into the landscape and quickly used his old camera to capture it. Some say it is just a person in a costume, while others point to the visible muscle definition and natural fur movement details they believe would have been difficult to fake with early 2000s equipment. The clip has brought new attention to long-running Himalayan Yeti stories. Is this an unknown creature, a misidentified figure, or a carefully made hoax? What do you think, authentic early footage or a convincing illusion? A tour bus driver named John Vickers was driving passengers through the Everglades when he recorded something unusual on the road ahead. The strange silhouette briefly crossed through the headlights and vanished into the trees, leaving everyone wondering what they had actually seen. Was it the legendary skunk ape, or just a mysterious local walking through the swamp at night? What do you think this figure really was? Only a few days later, another local said they saw a similar creature during a quiet morning drive. This time the witness was a woman named Jan Brock. Jan Brock was driving to work early that morning when she noticed something unusual crossing the road in front of her. At first she thought it was only a bear until she saw how it moved almost upright, almost human. The blurry figure disappeared into the trees, leaving more questions than answers. If it was not a bear, then what exactly did she see out there that morning? Do you think this could have been a skunk ape? Or something completely different? Jan stayed silent about her sighting, afraid people would think she had imagined it. But later that same day, her neighbor encountered the same creature during his morning commute. Instead of stopping in fear, he followed it and managed to take a quick photo. The picture is far from clear, but it does show a dark, upright figure moving through the woods. It is not enough to prove what the creature was, but it is still more than just a story. So what exactly did both witnesses see hiding among those trees? Workers at a construction site in Alberta, Canada said they saw a huge dark figure coming out of the fog in the nearby woods. One of them took out his phone and began recording the looming shape.
Oh yeah, okay, now I see something. Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of coming over the...
Yeah. Just through the tree.
In the original footage, very little can be seen. You mostly hear the workers talking about something moving in the misty tree line, claiming it was carrying a tree. However, YouTuber Thinker Thunker later stabilized and enhanced the clip, giving a clearer view of what they had seen in the fog. A large shadowy figure appears to be standing near the edge of the forest, and it seems to lift an entire tree with one arm, before throwing it an estimated 30 to 40 feet. So does this video show Bigfoot caught on camera? Is it a prop, or maybe just someone in a costume with unbelievable upper body strength? You decide. But if you want a supposed Bigfoot clip with an even closer view, another video may fit that description. The uploader says fruit from his apple and pear trees kept disappearing night after night, so he believed a raccoon, or another common pest, was responsible. To find out, he set up a camera. When he checked the footage the next morning, he was shocked by what he saw. Like most unexplained videos online, this one has created plenty of debate. Some viewers say the face looks like a mask or puppet. Others argue it cannot be a mask because the eyes seem to blink and react to the camera light. Then there are people who say there's no eye reaction at all. Watch the footage and decide for yourself. Did this person record a real Sasquatch peering through the window? Or was it simply a staged hoax? Share your thoughts in the comments. The so-called albino Bigfoot has become a subject of debate among people in Carbondale, Pennsylvania, after several strange reports and unusual sounds came from the nearby woods. Multiple witnesses said they saw something that looked like a monkey or an ape, even though no such animal is known to live in that area. According to one report, a local homeowner heard strange noises coming from the forest behind his property late at night. He grabbed his video camera and went outside to see what was happening. What made this sighting different from typical Bigfoot encounters was the creature's appearance. It seemed to be covered in bright, completely white fur. As expected, the internet debate became intense. Many people argued that the footage only showed someone wearing a costume and mask. Others who studied the clip frame by frame claimed the figure's eyes seemed to blink, and its mouth appeared to move as it turned away from the light. So the question remains, was this really an albino Bigfoot caught on camera, or just someone wearing an impressively detailed white Sasquatch suit? The choice is yours. On June 8th, 2018, Danny and his wife were hiking in a park while recording the beautiful scenery around them.
Did you hear that? What was it? What was that?
At the time, they heard something nearby, but they didn't fully know what it was. Later, while looking back at the footage, they noticed something unusual. Behind one of the trees, a dark figure seemed to be peeking out. It looked bulky and human-like, making the clip feel even stranger. Some viewers believe it may have been a bear, but bears are not commonly seen in that area. So, was this just an animal hiding behind the tree, or something else entirely? In a snowy forest, a man noticed a large dark figure moving among the trees. The figure stood out clearly against the white snow and tall trunks, making the hiker uneasy as he watched it pass through the woods. Dark shapes are easy to notice on snow, but distance can still hide the truth. Was it Bigfoot, an unknown creature, or something ordinary in the forest? A couple was hiking through the woods when they started hearing strange noises around them. As they began recording the sounds, they noticed something unsettling. A hairy figure seemed to be watching them from a distance, standing completely still. Unsure what they were seeing or whether it was dangerous, the couple carefully left the area. They walked away, confused and frightened, but in the wild, keeping distance from the unknown is always the safest choice. On November 12th, 2024, a strange discovery was reported in the dense forests of Meghalaya's South Garo Hills in India. Along a riverbank, two huge weathered footprints were found pressed into separate moss-covered rocks. The marks looked ancient, heavily worn, and covered with moss, suggesting they may have been there for a very long time. Rock formations and moss can make old marks appear more mysterious, but they are difficult to confirm without proper testing. The discovery gained attention locally and beyond because the footprints resembled those connected to the Mandai Barong, a creature from regional folklore. Locals describe it as a large, hairy, two-legged humanoid similar to Bigfoot believed to live in the subtropical forests of the Garo Hills. Last July, a man was hiking near Rocky Mountain National Park in Colorado when he saw something unusual. During the hike, he noticed a hairy, ape-like figure moving through the area. From far away, size and appearance can be difficult to judge accurately. The sighting left many people wondering, was it simply an animal, or could it have been Bigfoot? A group of men were hiking near a well-known Bigfoot area when they found large footprints in the snow.
Right here. Look right here. Get in on this one.
Yeah, I mean, the foot is melted away to make it look bigger. But look at the top of these right here.
Yeah.
Toes.
Yeah.
Here, and then it was the whole hill.
And let me ask you something.
Here, whole hill.
Let me ask you something. If you're looking down at these, do you know something different about this grouping?
There's a small one and
There's
a
a
big
small one and a big one. So it looks like this one might be a parent and a juvenile.
Parent and a juvenile.
That's why they're so close together and they're not strided out.
After examining the tracks, they believed the prints may have come from Bigfoot. But what made the discovery even stranger was that the footprints were not all the same size. Because some tracks were bigger and others were smaller, the group wondered if more than one creature had walked through possibly an adult and a younger one. But snow can melt around a print, making it look larger than it really was. Were these truly Bigfoot footprints? Or did the snow change what they were seeing? Harley was walking through the woods when he started hearing strange noises and noticed an unfamiliar creature.
Again, and up on the cliff, peeking out of the brush from behind a tree, it would hide. Luckily, I got a picture. I don't know how to explain it, but the phone I had then...
At first he thought it may have been a bear because of its color, but the way it moved and acted did not match any bear he had seen before. Having grown up in Tennessee and encountered many bears, Harley felt this creature seemed more curious and intelligent. Later that night, around 9:30 p.m., Harley heard unusual vocalizations coming from the woods. He recorded the sounds, but they were unlike anything he had ever heard from a bear. Adding to the mystery, the creature also gave off a strong rotten egg smell. That kind of odor is often mentioned in Bigfoot reports, which made Harley wonder whether it was really just a normal animal. The eerie encounter stayed with Harley for a long time. A Reddit user shared an eerie photo of their dog taken on a fog-covered mountain in Scotland. When they checked the image later, they noticed something strange in the background, an unusually large figure standing behind the dog. The photo quickly led to speculation that it might show a Sasquatch. However, some commenters questioned that idea, arguing that a creature like that would not stand so openly in plain view. Without clear evidence, was it something unusual, or just a figure distorted by the fog? While hiking in American Fork Canyon, a man noticed something moving between the trees. At first he thought it could be a moose or an elk, but as he got closer he realized it looked strange. The footage showed a hairy creature standing on two legs before it suddenly ran off. Afterward, the man wondered if he had imagined the entire thing. But when he reviewed the video later, the footage proved otherwise. This photo was captured on June 29, 2013 at 8 a.m. by a motion-activated trail camera. It showed a dark upright figure near a hunting blind. The figure appeared in only one frame and was absent from other photos taken minutes apart, making it harder to dismiss as a shadow or a trick of light. The image appeared to show something alive and in motion. Enhanced versions showed broad shoulders, possible chest muscles, and bare-looking areas around the face. Using 3 separate methods, height estimates placed the figure between 6 feet 6.5 inches and 6 feet 10 inches. That is taller than the average person, but still within the range often connected to Sasquatch reports. So what else could it have been? That's it for tonight. Which moment creep? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story, share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.